Chapter 6. The Bravest Word. Theo had an idea that refused to be quiet. A pop-up exhibit in a defunct train station near the river, a tunnel that smelled like iron and story. He had contacts, Mara had colors. They conspired with friends who owed them favors and with strangers who liked the way they asked. Together they would make a passageway of light and language, a corridor where people could walk through their own unsaid sentences. On the night they opened it, a small crowd gathered. Strings of borrowed bulbs cast shy halos. Painted panels leaned against old brick like letters against a chest. The entrance, a sign asked, "Write the bravest word you know." The station filled with chalk. Home, begin, forgive, enough. Mara arrived in a jacket that made her look like a promise. Theo waited by the final arch, hands full of nothing but nerve. The plan, if you could call it that, was improvisation wedded to intention. They had agreed, without agreeing, to risk reality. He stepped forward and tapped a microphone that hadn't been used since announcements were about departures. "This started as a project," he said, voice steady only on purpose, "about how to move through the unsaid. We thought we were making an installation, but we were building a hallway to a sentence." People quieted the way people do when they recognize the species of moment they are in. Mara stood with a cluster of studio friends. One of them squeezed her wrist, a pulse acknowledging a pulse. "This is a story," Theo continued, "about two people who tried to keep the present tense simple. They wrote rules and called it protection. But along the way they forgot a fact about living things. If you tend to them, they grow beyond their containers. This corridor is for that, for all the overflowing." He held up a panel Mara had painted in washes of dusk. "Cross it in careful ink." He had written a sentence they'd rehearsed with their hearts, not their mouths. "We were brave enough to make a pact. Let us be braver and break it." Mara walked toward him, her steps a series of decisions resolving into an answer. In every story we tell about love, there is a moment when the world sound turns inward so one word can be heard. She reached him at the arch where the chalk dust, the lights, the city, and the future met. "I always thought courage would feel like fire," she said, her voice carrying in a place designed to send voices away. "It feels like standing still and not running." She took the microphone and added, "Yes." No orchestra started playing. The city did not kneel. But the crowd, gentle conspirators that they were, applauded in a way that made the station's old bones remember what it meant to be useful. They watched two people replace a playbook with a promise. After, they walked outside into a night stitched with river wind. They talked about what would happen in the morning, messy, ordinary, unglamorous conversations about keys and schedules, about edges and expectations. They didn't pretend it would be easy. They only agreed it would be real. I have told you this as a woman who knew them, who watched them mistype their lives and then correct the spelling without losing any of the poem. If you pass by that station a month from now, the chalk will be rain-thinned, the bulbs will be borrowed back. But the bravest word will remain, not written on a wall, but on two people who decided that love isn't the opposite of freedom, it is the practice of it. Some nights later, they returned to the rooftop greenhouse, now fragrant with late basil and the ambition of mint. There, they made a new rule, their only one: speak honestly, even when it's inconvenient. They sealed it not with a handshake, but with laughter, which is as binding as any signature when it belongs to the right two people. They left the rooftop not by separate stairwells, but together, carrying between them the soft, substantial weight of a future no longer locked behind glass. If this tale moved you, subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, give a like to the video, leave a comment telling me your favorite moment, and share the video with someone who believes in brave love.